Jesse Morehouse. No longer on it. Don Marsh.
Yeah, Don Carr is excused.
Rich Valdez. Elsa.
Rich Valdez.
Rich Valdez. Yes. How did you sneak in? When somebody said that. Elsa White. Here. Johanna. Here. Archuleta. Brandon Bishop.
Here.
Warren Brown. Ron Mays. Alvin Shaw.
Here.
Okay.
Good.
Okay.
I forgot to ask.
Yeah.
Marilyn Harris, my other sheet didn't print.
President.
Terry Shaw. Sorry, I'm
Okay.
not printed it.
Yeah, that's it. Okay. Okay, thank you. Well, want to welcome everyone, like I said. We have a monthly meeting the third Wednesday of every month in our new location. And unfortunately, last Wednesday, we were all sick. But I did want to cancel it altogether because we have so much important information. So we put it to this week. So thank you for being flexible. But next month, we'll be back on our third Wednesday schedule. And I've got a schedule here we'll go over shortly. But right now, hope all of you have a copy of the agenda. Yeah.
Get a copy of the agenda.
Oh, okay, sure. Will you get the copies of all of these? Need a motion to approve the agenda that we're gonna use today?
I so moved.
Terry, second by Chuck, okay. Any discussion? All in favor with an aye? Okay, thank you. Any opposed? Our agenda is adopted. Also, you should have copies of the November meeting minutes. If you hadn't received them, we're forward now. I need a motion to adopt those if there's any changes or corrections. Hello? Chuck, okay, a motion to adopt them. Is there a second? Okay, Derek, thank you. Any, discussion? Any opposed? All in favor with an aye? Aye, thank you. They will go for record. We have our most important event coming up this year is our caucus. And you've received handouts. If you did not, make sure you get them. There's so many opportunities. And you're gonna hear me say this over and over. We see all the chaos going on in our country, everywhere, and we say, why don't they do something? Why don't they do something? Well, guess what? You are they. Every single one of you are they. There is something you can do. It may be one of these things, an election judge, a poll watcher, there's a number of things you can do. And so it is your time. If not now, when will you ever get involved? So this is it. And we're gonna give you so many opportunities to get involved. One of which is at our caucus coming up March the 1st, we'll be asking for people who want to be poll watchers. And always people, they don't understand what they do. We've done a printout, actually it came from our county clerk's office, told me, of what a poll watcher does. It's an election watcher. And then we also have election judges, which is probably one of the most important things. But what I always hear from people is, I don't know enough to do it. So here's not a very brief outline, but a good outline. At our next meeting, Tommy from the county clerk's office will come and talk and answer any questions that you might have about how easy it is to be a watcher. And I've done it for years. You can be our Republican watcher, or each candidate that's running on the ballot has a person that can be there watching for them. And that's just it. You watch and observe. This last year, our dear Democratic Secretary of State passed out 100 pages of new election laws that were absurd, like you can't talk to somebody, and so the Republican Party challenged those, got a lot of them deleted, and, you know, I'm getting an updated copy of what they are, but, Tony will go over that, and how important these election judges are. Because, and it's not difficult, read through it and be ready, and when Tony comes and talks to us, have your questions ready. But it all starts with, hopefully everybody has a list there of, let's see, the dates and calendar and updates. And I'll show you what that looks like. And if I can find it. Yeah. It's 2 pages, yeah. It says Archuleta County Republican Central Committee. Did you get one of those? Oh. Okay. No, that's the agenda.
I have one right here.
There you go. Sorry, we'll get you everything else. Okay, on there you see, our next meeting is the 16th, on that third Wednesday. And we're gonna talk about what is a caucus, so you know what a caucus is. I'm originally came from Texas, we didn't have caucuses, and I saw this and it like blew my mind. So it's a lot to kind of understand if you've not done it before or been involved. But we will have, you know, like I said, Tony from the county clerk's office come and talk to us about it. And also in our next meeting, we're gonna have a forum of all the candidates. And we got local candidates, we got commissioner's race, sheriff's race, all of our officers. Brandon's running for coroner, and Christie's running again for county clerk. Elsa's running again for treasurer, and Johanna's running for
Assessor.
again, yes, assistant. So, the ones that are unopposed, we obviously still gonna have a chance to talk, because we don't know what the Democrats are gonna file yet. But the other candidates, our sheriff candidates, our commissioner candidates, I've had calls from some of our governor candidates and some of our US candidates who wants to try to make a meeting. So whatever candidates were here, we're gonna have a forum. They will all speak, and then you have an opportunity to see them side by side, ask questions, you know, of anything you have and wanna know, to just get as much information we can to you for that. Because at that meeting, oh, pardon me. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. We have a couple of chairs in here. If you can hear me. Okay, now that I know you're there, I'll, so that day is our central committee meeting. That night is our training for all our precinct chairmen, and everything, you'll get everything there you need to know and what to do as a precinct chairman to run the meeting. It is a script sent down to us from the state, and we literally follow the script. It says, welcome to blank, Archuleta County, Archuleta. My name is blank, and I mean, we literally go by their script. All over Colorado that night, most every counties are having their precinct meeting. The state allowed us to have it from March the 1st to the 5th, but they requested that as many people could have that meeting on the 1st and get the paperwork going. There's a couple of counties that are doing it on the 2nd, and one county's doing it on the 5th, but the rest of Colorado that night will be having precincts. So we're gonna have a training for that next Wednesday meeting, after the next month's Wednesday meeting. And then for that day, March the 1st, it's on a Saturday, we will meet at the Extension Center. And there, anybody that was elected, delegates that needs to get elected that night, on March the 1st, it's not at the Extension Center, it's all over, and we'll give you a list. As soon as we have every single precinct confirmed, you will go to your precinct meeting, And you need to be elected to be a delegate to go to the county assembly. And right now, for that meeting, we have different numbers. For precinct 1, we'll be electing 9 delegates and 9 alternates. Precinct 2, be 9 delegates and 9 alternates. Hi, Tiffany. Precinct 3 will have 8 delegates and 8 alternates. Precinct 4 will be 4 delegates and 4 alternates. Precinct 5 will be 9 and 9. Precinct 6 will be 15 delegates, 15 alternates. And precinct 7 is 14. And precinct 8 is 16. And we'll send this out in an email again, but I just want to give you an idea. That's a total of 84 delegates plus alternates to go to our county assembly. And this is where it all starts. It must happen March the 1st, that night. You must be there to run as a delegate and or an alternate to go to our county assembly, which will be March the 19th, and that's the one that'll be at the Extension Center. And it's on a Saturday, and we'll register that morning, and only those who are elected as a delegate will attend the meeting and be voting. I mean, the public can attend, but only votes can do that. Registration starts at 9. The meeting starts at 10, the gavel drops. If you are not there, your alternate moves up, and there's no going back. Once that happens, there's no, exchanging. So please, we'll work on that and how important that is. And these are the delegates who will elect our county commissioners and our sheriff to be on our primary ballots. So, like I said, I start getting calls that just before that say, I want to come and vote. Cannot do it if you did not attend that March 1st meeting. So we need as much as we can hammer that out and get that information out. Also, that day at that meeting, we will be electing the same way. There'll be a sheet of paper. You can nominate yourself to be a state delegate. And that's super important as well. As a state delegate, you go on March the 9th to the state, and we select the governor candidate and the U.S. Senate candidate. We have a super opportunity to win the U.S. Senate candidate this year. We've got awesome candidates running. So it's a wonderful process to be involved in. And let your voice be heard. Yours counts as much as mine does or anybody else's. Come and be part of that process. Now also at the county assembly, we have a House District 59 that we're all involved in. We're gonna hopefully elect a candidate to run. That meeting right now is tentatively set for March the 26th, but we'll have more information on that and have it set up at the county assembly. That's where you'll sign up to go to that. Also, Senate District 3, we will be electing a candidate at the state. And right now, we have a number of candidates running against our sitting candidate, Lauren Bogart. Donna Corum is in the race, Marina Zimmerman, and I think there's one other Republican I think I heard had filed. And then we have about 8 Democrats running against them. But we will only vote on the Democratic candidate, but that will be up at the state level. So again, get elected that night and get on that list to be able to go to the county assembly so you can also get on that list to go to state. And if you're interested in going at state at all, please let me know. Before they announce it, the hotel, it's gonna get jam-packed. And if you're interested in going, go ahead and make your reservations now. You can always change it or whatever. But these are such critical dates. you're gonna see this again and again and again, that we get that information out there, because I've gone through a number of assemblies, and I cannot tell you the number of phone calls I get before that county assembly. I wanted to vote, or I wanna go to state, how can I go to state? March 1st is the only way to ticket, so we will keep hammering that out. So, it's very, very important, like I said, it's our Super Bowl of politics, that it's one of the most important times where we elect, get the delegates. As a delegate, you have a voice in what happens right here in your county, and your state, and national, US Senate races, CD3, our congressional races. I think that's exciting to have a voice. And like I said, you can't sit around and keep saying, why don't they do something? This is your chance to be they, and say so. Okay, so, enough of my preaching. Our treasurer, do you have a report, or do you want to pass it on to next month?
I do, I just got it really
Okay.
quick. This is a combined report for, November and December. Our general fund has $492.42, and our education fund has $1,763.13, for a total of $2,255.55. And I'll give Ronnie a copy of this for the.
Okay, thank you. As you can see, we have no money. We are working on a Lincoln Day dinner. I have called 2 people, and we're checking on that first weekend in May. There's a group called Flag, and a guy named Nick Adams, who's an Aussie, by the way, came to America, written several books, dynamic speaker. He speaks all over. He charges about $5,000, but he owes me a favor, so I'm trying, and he came through Pagosa once, he did like it. So we're working on trying to get him to come, and if we do, we all have to get out there and sell tickets. It'll be a major fundraiser for us, but it'll be well worth it. He is amazing, he really is. So we are working on that for a fundraiser. Our website went away. We're not sure what happened, but Tom Zillhaver is working on it, and Terry also is helping him. We've got to get it up and running and get all this information on the website. It's just not acceptable. That's a key, information site, so we are desperately working on that. We've had a number of openings in our precincts. As you heard when Veronica did the roll call. So the vacancy committee met this morning and filled some of those vacancies. And we have a couple more precincts to go. I have calls out to people, and I'm waiting to hear back from them. If you are a registered Republican and in one of these precincts that we have openings, please let me know, or if you know of somebody. We would love to have you working on this. But today, the vacancy committee proposed to you the following to be adopted for fill these precincts. Precinct 1 is Mary Jojo Allen and our chaplain Chuck Allen in Precinct 1. Precinct 5 is Deborah Van Gundy and Laurie Ayers. They both are homesick with COVID. Richard Walker, who has another meeting but may be able to be here in time, who's been very interested in being involved. He's very involved with Veterans for Veterans, and we're lucky to have him. Precinct 7, Mike Harity, and Precinct 8, Penny Weber and Debbie Koppel. So is there a motion that we accept these people that the vacancy committee are submitting to you to fill these precincts?
I make a motion.
Okay, is there a second to it? Second, thank you. Derek, second. Is there any discussion or questions about it? We have openings in Precinct 2 and Precinct 4. Also, if you're not a precinct chairman, we have a number of committees, very key committees we can use your help on. So, like I said, it is your county, your state. Let your voice be heard. We're here. We're ready to hear it. Any discussion about these? And, all right, all in favor with accepting the vacancy committee nominations with an aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Jojo, you don't count, so. Okay, thank you, and thank you all for volunteering so graciously. Okay, we have several of our elected officials with us, and want to know if we could get an update from anybody. Let's start with Brandon. Do you have any update from our corners?
No,
No?
business as usual.
Question I always get, and a question for you is, what's our COVID count? Do you know, is that?
I don't know what the count is for the county, because most people that pass away from COVID die at the hospital,
Yeah.
which aren't coroner cases, but I have 2. The coroner's office has 2.
Yeah. Okay.
So, nationwide, that's a pretty good average,
Yeah.
considering.
Okay, next elected official, Johanna, you have something for?
My office is open and functioning. I've only had one out with COVID, and we are in the process of doing inspections for new construction and getting ready to send out NOVs in May.
Great. And Johanna's running again, unopposed so far, so let's keep our fingers crossed. Alvin?
Same
Commissioner.
business as usual. We're excited to actually get some roads paved this year. It didn't happen last year, should have. So, other than that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Only 3 or 4 roads that really needed it should have happened last year. And ball that out somewhere, so.
So otherwise, all is quiet.
Otherwise,
Well,
other than that, I mean, we haven't had too bad COVID problems. At Summit Road and Bridge, last week? This week? Last week. 2 or 3. So the planning department's kind of having problems with it. Other than that, everything's good.
Our sheriff,
Been busy.
yeah, really, yeah.
A lot of tourists, a lot of traffic coming in, but, we had a couple of, by the CDC, we were put in an outbreak situation because of our jail situation. We had, more than 2 inmates and more than 3 staff that got tested positive, so we were on the watch for about 28 days for that. But we were able to control that and work safely out of it, and everybody's looking good, so, so that was a big thing that happened in the last month. We did have a big incident with the propane, so that was a big thing with the propane, and that was a great thing that Mike LaRue did, is he was able to work with the Attorney General's office and with our new county manager, Derek Goodman, to get an affidavit and work with the Attorney General's office to get that injunction in order for them to authorize third-party vendors in order to fill Bob LP tank. So that was a unique situation. I don't know if does anybody understand how that works? And so, but a couple of the challenges that we had that we found out was, if they were at 0%, they had to be pressure tested. Then they found out that there wasn't, a lot of the tanks were not updated correctly, so some of the vendors that were trying to fill them were having some challenges, so it was good. But I have to say, it was, I was up at the sheriff's conference this last week, and the chief's conference, and we met. I sat down with Chief Brammer, the chief from Cortez, Sheriff Nolan from Montezuma County, and Sheriff Smith, and we all had a really good conversation about that whole thing, and it was, I have to pride Mr. Woodman and Mike, because they got the affidavit signed and the injunction came through, but we're the only county. It was only for Archuleta County. So we stepped up for our citizens, and they chose not to do it for their citizens. So for that, it was kind of interesting.
Wow.
Thank you.
Can I add one other thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, Marilyn, if you don't mind, I just want to add one other thing. So, County Manager Woodman and I worked on a disaster declaration which we submitted to the Governor's office, and the Governor didn't deem the situation that we had worthy of an executive order to override that. So the Attorney General's office took that over, so we're deeply grateful for that, but just some additional info on the Governor's office not stepping up with that executive order. So it did go to both and the AG's prospered, so.
And after that, everything's business as usual. We're still working. Staff is good. Moving forward, so.
All right. Yeah, that was a pretty frightening time. Lots of information going around, misinformation,
And it
and,
was new,
yeah.
you know, because it's, that's not technically a law enforcement function. But it does fall under the emergency management side, so it was unique.
So way to tackle it.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you. Elsa?
As far as, the treasurer's office, we are open, we are fully staffed, because there's only 4 of us, so, but we are fully staffed, we're doing good. Most of you know, if you own property in Archuleta County, you probably got your tax notice. We've had a lot of phone calls about the values, the tax increase, and unfortunately or fortunately, I can pass those on to Johanna, because those came from her office. We've had, one of our pushes, we did send in our tax notices was a
I
little
think
insert.
if you stand here, you can talk to here and you can talk to here, so you can multitask.
You got some people
We
out there,
cannot
yeah.
hear you.
Sorry, yeah.
So anyway, like I said, if you got your tax notice, you did notice, or you should have gotten a little blue insert. And unfortunately, our printer got our phone number wrong, but the email is correct if you want to sign up for e-statements. That is my push to try to get more people signed up for electronic tax notices to keep our costs down of postage, printing, and so forth and so on. I'm also working with the title companies because we are getting an abundance of return mail. A lot of people, when they do their closing on their properties, they ask for an address and they give them the address or the physical address of the property that they're buying, not their mailing address. And that's what's recorded on the deed, and that's what we get to send out notices. So, as of today, we have like 2 boxes, envelope boxes full of return mail that we need to try to get back out. So, we hope everybody will sign up for an e-statement. We're doing well, and come and see us.
Thank you. Yeah, good point. We're gonna bring our microphone next time. We didn't realize for sure how big of a space we would need here. I think that's all of our, Derek Woodman is our new county manager. Would you like to add anything to us to update everybody? And if you do, could you do it here, please? So,
Sure.
they can hear.
So I've been in my new position for a grand total of a month now, and it is pretty staggering busy. I said that I could do Mike's job with my eyes closed and in my sleep. I've been doing that for a long time. There's a lot of other stuff that I gotta learn, and you know, a bunch of other opportunities throughout county government. So it's been a great learning experience already. I think we're moving in the absolute correct direction. A couple things that we've got going on. Tomorrow we get the temporary certificate of occupancy for our new court building. So that'll be very exciting. That should be opening in March. That's all due to delays on the furnishings. Our new DHS building is absolutely underway. Beautiful building. It's going to be a great addition to the county government and for Department of Human Services. Those are probably 2 of our biggest projects we got going on right now. The DHS building probably won't be done until May, but we'll be able to get into that and vacate the space that we're leasing over at the county. So, yeah, we're moving along pretty well.
Okay, good, thank you. Okay, we have under our new business, as we mentioned before, want to welcome Mike LaRue, who is our new undersheriff. Thank you, Mike, for stepping in, taking over, and especially at such a amazing time with all the propane emergencies and everything else. Anything you want to add as your new job as undersheriff?
Just that I haven't been able to do it with my eyes closed while I sleep, so I'm glad that
You want
Terry
to come
was.
over here and they can hear you? Please.
Yeah, everybody wants to hear.
Yeah, so good afternoon, everyone. I'll just jump in and say, had the privilege now of serving with the Sheriff's Office for a little under 8 years, and now more recently I have the honor of serving as the Undersheriff. I know some of you, I don't know others of you, but my prior role with the Sheriff's Office was the Emergency Manager, So I'm intimately involved with pretty much everything that you can see in this surrounding 2,000 square mile area that we have around the county. I've been a resident of Archuleta County 9 years. I've been here 10. I was temporarily here before, and I've been serving in many different ways, non-profits, and but I do feel honored to have moved through the ranks and represent now as the undersheriff. So a lot of good things happening at the sheriff's office. We are busy. We've almost fully staffed. We were graciously allowed some more staffing through the Board of County Commissioners and our budget process. So we look to leverage and get fully staffed for the rest of the year. So appreciate you having me. Thanks for making my wife and I welcome over the last 9 or 10 years here in Pagosa Springs, and I look forward to continuing serving with energy and vigor.
Thank you. Okay, we have our precincts that I mentioned a while ago. We have 8. We have 2 representatives from each precinct as precinct chairman. And then we have other positions in there as captains, other things that we can put people in out of these 8 precincts. Well, we were told recently we might have a new precinct because of population increase. But what the clerks decided to do and the commissioners approved was redraw some lines, and they between 8 and 5. So I enclosed a map, and if you didn't get one, let me know, I'll get you one. The new map I had to zoom and zoom and zoom to tell where that fine line was. But if you've got a question of where you belong, let me know. I can look on the new county list. We've got a new updated list for anybody that flipped those districts or precincts. So let me know. And on the sheet that I passed out with all the dates and everything, my number, email's on there. Please call me about anything. Anything. There's no crazy questions. We need to get information out. And if you've got some ideas, hey, we're open for any information. So please let me know that. We had a meeting 2 weeks ago for our CD3, our Congressional District 3. That changed, the boundaries changed with that. Initially, it was the western slope and sort of stopped over here, and now it's increased and it came down a little bit, which is Lauren Bopart's district. So anytime when there's new districts, we had to have a new meeting, and each of those congressional districts have officers. So we had a meeting, and the voting members were all the county chairs and vice chairs and secretaries of all the counties involved. And there are, I think, 20-something counties in CD District 3. So fortunately, the new chairman of CD3 is Dave Peters from La Plata. So he's gonna keep us well informed and be involved in that. So CD3 is up for grabs this year. Humongous, important that we keep that seat. And we can take the House back if we don't lose that seat, and we have some excellent opportunities nationwide, but we don't want to lose that seat. There was a big challenge back in September to the state about opting out of what we call an open primary. We voted back in 2016, I think, to have Proposition 108, which said, let's have an open primary. Before that, we had a Republican primary and a Democrat primary. And the entire state of Colorado voted, let's open it up to everybody. So now in our Republican primary, unaffiliated can vote. And if you're unaffiliated, when the primary season comes around, you'll get 2 ballots, a Republican ballot and a Democrat ballot. And purportedly, you just vote for one and turn it in. But there were so many things that happened in some of the precincts that people had proposed, there was an option when we voted for that we could get out of it. They proposed to get out of it, to get back, let Republicans select Republicans, Democrats, and it didn't pass at the state. So now we're at a primary, and people are starting to say, oh no, some of the information going around is saying, okay, all you Democrats go be unaffiliated and let's support this guy or this girl or somebody so we can beat the incumbent. And so it's politics on its craziest level. So this is, like I said, you've got to let your voice be heard if you care about that. You don't want to lose that seat. And like I mentioned, our next meeting will be here, and we will bring our microphone better. And so we'll do our candidates forum, and you can ask those questions of what you know, see what's going on, read the paper, hear what's happening, and if you've got questions of our local people, look on the internet, look on Facebook, stay informed on some of our governor candidates or U.S. candidates, so you can ask them some of the tough questions and get answers that we need to know, so we know that we're voting for whatever we feel is right. And that's what we have to do. Like I said, you're gonna hear this over and over again. We had a couple of candidates that had said they were gonna try to come and speak to us today, but they had rough weather up in Denver yesterday, so they didn't try to make the trip. So fortunately, they said maybe in our February meeting. So now, we always give any candidates running about 3 minutes to get up and say anything you'd like to say. Want to start with Alvin. Alvin's running for current commissioner, but he'll tell you all that. And each candidate's going to take about 3 minutes, please. So.
Thank you. For those who don't know me, Alvin Shaw, Archuleta County Commissioner, running for re-election, and basically same as last time. I don't make promises to people. I promise to show up and do my job, do what's best for the community as a whole. And it's hard. You're elected to represent everybody, not just the Republican Party. So I think I tried to do my best. This board has done, and in the last 3 years, we've done a lot to better our community, better our county, better roads. I think they've improved in the last 3 years. Our infrastructure, we've got a lot of new buildings that we have. I know one was voted down as far as financing for it. People didn't want it, but the fact is we had to have it. So that's my promise, that's my platform. I'll show up and do my job and do what's best for the community, not just one special interest group. Appreciate your support.
Okay, thanks. Thanks, Alvin. Okay, Veronica, running for commissioner as well.
Hi, I'm Veronica Medina, and I am running for county commissioner. I've been here now for about 8 years, and my family has a long history of being here. So I'm not new to Pagosa, but Pagosa is definitely home to me, and this is where I plan to retire. So I got involved because I see that we have a lot of issues, and I see that our communication from government to the people is not happening. Our roads definitely need a huge facelift, which it sounds like that's what's going to happen, but like last year, money is diverted from other departments to other projects, and the roads don't get taken care of. So transparency, communication, and the infrastructure is huge. Government needs to get out of the way so that way we can start taking care of the issues that are important to the people of Archuleta County and not special interest groups. I look for your support, Veronica Medina, County Commissioner.
Thank you. Okay. Mike, we've called on you a number of times today, but if you don't mind, as a candidate, you can speak to us. Yeah.
Thank you, Marilyn. And I'll just clarify, I come from a little bit further southwest than where Marilyn originates from. I'm originally South African, then more recently Australian, and then again I've been here a little under 10 years. As I said, I've served with the Sheriff's Office. I had the privilege of doing that for the last 8 years, and I've expedited everything I can do to be part of this community and this country through the immigration process and through what I believe I've brought to the Sheriff's Office and the community. I'm a resources guy. I'm a relationship guy. I believe through the EM program, which we had in existence, I've taken that to another level, particularly with our relationships that we've fostered county-wide, statewide, and I've had the opportunity to develop those relationships with local agencies, state agencies, federal agencies, and tribal agencies. So what I bring to the table, I believe, is an in-depth knowledge and an intimate knowledge of how Archuleta County as a government works, how Archuleta County as the community works, and for those of you that I haven't touched yet, I will reach out, but like I said, I'm intimately familiar with every piece of turf that we have in this area, and I look forward to moving through and using the relationships that I have developed and continue to develop more to take our Sheriff's Office in our county to continue to grow it as we need to, as the population and the community grows. So I'd love to have your support. Vote for me, Mike Carew, Sheriff 2022.
All right, okay, I know the rest of our candidates do not have an opponent, but if you'd like to say something and ask for people's votes, Brandon, want to come on up and...
Sorry, guys, like this guys, I was working. So my name, for those of you that I don't know, my name is Brandon Bishop. I'm the Archuleta County Coroner. I was with the Sheriff's Office for 13 years prior to taking over for Dan Kuning as coroner and then elected in 2018. I'd love to have you guys support for another 4 years. It's not the easiest job in the world, but I take a lot of pride in helping families through tragic times, and I enjoy the job, and I'd love to see you guys' support for the next election.
Okay, great.
No, I'm going to. Yes. Yeah, I got some money for you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Johanna, would you like to say a few words?
Probably my biggest weakness is actually public speaking. I've been with the Archuleta County Assessor's Office for 20 years, so I've kind of been the brains behind the operation for many years, so it's hard for me to be the public face of the office now. I was appointed in September, taking over for Natalie as she moved on to Oregon to retire. Well, not retire, she's actually working there and stuff, but OF, anybody know OF, he had to get to a place where he could breathe. So I'm happy to be serving in this capacity now. I've lived here my whole life. I'm a native. I love my town. My whole family's still here, so I love serving this community now in this capacity. And I just ask for your support for the 2023 assessor.
Good, okay, thank you. Elsa?
I think I know just about everybody here, but I'm Elsa White, and I'm currently your Archuleta County Treasurer. I'm beginning my 4th year. I'm running again. I would like your support. I'm looking for delegates. If anybody's interested in being a delegate, if you feel I've done a good job, which I feel I have. My platform was that I was going to be a working treasurer, and anybody in my office or even in the courthouse can attest that I am at work every day. That is my platform. Like I said, we're working on trying to cut down some of our costs, which are difficult here in Archuleta County. I'm working with the title companies now. I'm working with Johanna's office about doing electronic notifications, doing everything I can to save Archuleta County some money. People come in and they get mad at us because of the taxes. Unfortunately, I'm just the tax collector and then forward it on to everybody else. But like I said, I would appreciate your vote. It's an honor to be your county treasurer, and I hope to be your county treasurer for another 4 years. Thank you.
Christy Archuleta, our county clerk, is running again. but their office is closed right now. There's COVID going around it. So she wasn't able to be here. We thank her for not being here, coming sick, so. She will be probably at our next meeting, and, again, if you have any questions, anything, any ideas, please let us know. We want to stay informed, keep you informed. Are there any announcements anybody would like to make quickly? Yes, Viv?
So I was just wondering if you had watched I guess it was the forum with the senatorial candidates from the Republicans. Did any of you see that last night?
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it, it was excellent to see, and it's on YouTube. And it was sponsored at the Colorado Christian College. And I wish that maybe part of what you do is to inform people that those things are out there so they could be aware of that time to watch them, because it's great to see. And will you be asking any of those candidates do you have any dates scheduled yet?
They have asked us several. I've seen them at a number of events. I was supposed to go last night, and the weather up there I didn't. But yeah, it is recorded. It's on YouTube. It is an excellent opportunity to get an idea of what each of these candidates stand for. It came out. It was very well done.
Yes.
There are some other things coming up. We will try to email you to be on the lookout. Christy Brown, our state chair, our vice chair, and me as secretary of the state, we're working on some projects for helping with the caucus and training, and I'll try to get those out to you as well. So we need our website up so we can get that vital information on there. But in the meantime, Tom Zillhaber's working on it, but he too has COVID. So that should be happening pretty quickly. But we can get Terry and Veronica to email out some of this information. If you're not on our email list, Veronica, you have a list going around? Yeah. If you're not on it, please put your name. Veronica has a list, and we will keep you updated on all the activities that are happening. So, anything else anybody has? Whoops. Somebody's time is up here. Yes, sure. Okay.
Bethany Cole, and I was listening to all the candidates, and something that is a little disappointing to me, I don't hear anything about the Constitution and upholding our rights. That's the banner of the Republican Party, right? So it's something to bring up if you're running for this, or under the Republican banner. I don't hear mention of the Junior Heroes program that's happening in our schools, getting out of the reins of San Juan Basin. I don't hear that. Let's start thinking about those issues. The roads and everything are important, but upholding our rights is number one. I love the fact that Maryland says we need to start getting involved. 100%, we should start getting involved in this county first. It starts local, we can work our way up. So just want the candidates to kind of think of that when they're running. We do want somebody that is actually constitutional. We can see how the actions align with that. But Derek Woodman and Richie Valdez, I have these for you. You guys have been served. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other announcements? Anything anyone needs to know? Okay. Thank you all again for coming. Next meeting, third Wednesday. The Women's Club meets here the second Wednesday. And if you can't do one, try the other one. We have other candidates who are making the rounds. If they can't make our central committee meeting, they're going to try to make the Women's Club meeting. So do you have any special people coming you want to announce something?
Not yet.
Not yet, okay. Okay. Thank you. I keep saying, please get involved, but the fact that you're here, you're involved. One other little thing I'd like to say, just a side note for something we're all proud of. Jesse, you want to tell us about your son real quickly? That's great news, one of our own here.
Well, Jesse Morehouse, I'm the IT director of the school district and also the National Guard.
You might.
Oh, that's right, that's right,
Got a little roll with the
yeah.
Just a little bit.
And, so what Marilyn was referring to. So my son is a senior in high school here in the district, and he's interested in applying to the Military Service Academy, which is a pretty complex and difficult process with no guaranteed result at the end of it all. And so we're still waiting, fingers crossed. One of the steps you need to be an actual finalist for consideration for Service Academy is you need to have a congressional nomination, which you can get one of only a couple ways. So your 2 state senators and your representative for whichever district that you live in are the 3 people that you can apply through. So my son applied to both. The senators have a combined committee that they do, and then each representative has their own. So he applied with Senator Bobert, and she actually selected him. Every elected representative in the House and the Senate gets to select 10 candidates that they give nominations for to every military service academy, and so he ended up as one of her 10 for West Point. So anyway, it was pretty neat that Senator or Representative Bobert was interested in considering folks from Pagosa Springs, and we definitely feel honored that she selected our son for that. So. But it's still a process. They say if you get the nomination, that only means you got about a 50-50 chance of getting in, which is better than a 1 in 13 or 15 chance. So still fingers crossed, and lots more to do on that. But it was pretty neat to see her taking an interest in our community.
Makes me feel good to know the future of our country is in great hands. Okay, again, thank you all for being here and being involved. God bless you. See you at the next meeting. Thank you for coming. Meeting adjourned. And I'm going to throw my phone in there.
Messing up.
There, I guess.
Put your name on anything.
Yeah, it's like, so we can be family.
Next thing is 60 degrees of separation.
Yeah, right.